Okay, we're going to talk real quick about how to find tip, tax, and other increased percents. So when you're trying to find an increased percent, this is anything where the problem says it's going up or it's increasing, whether it's temperature, population, or the price of something. It doesn't matter what it is, just that something is increasing by a percent. Okay, so first off, you need to find how to find an increasing percent. So say it said the population was increasing by 5%. All you would do to find your increasing percent is to take 5% and add it to 100%, which would give us 105%. Okay? Say we're increasing by 50%. Then you would take 50% and add it to 100, which would give us 150%. Okay, so all you're doing is taking your percent and adding it to 100 if you're increasing, okay? Because decreasing is going to be different. Okay, so how we find tip, how we find what our tip is, what our total price is, what our tax is, all of this. Okay, so this will help us find tip, tax, but this will help us find the total price. Okay, if you just want to find what the tip is, then you just take the normal percent and multiply it by how much you're paying. Okay, if you want to find the total price, you take this increased percent, then multiply it by the price. Okay, we already talked about how to find just the tip or just the tax back in Unit 10, but Unit 11 teaches us how to find the total price with tip or tax. Okay, so let's look at some quick examples. So we are going to we have to pay something that's $25, whether it's a dinner or a date or whatever. You have $25 and it's 8% tax. Okay, so we're going to take, if I just wanted to find what the tax was, I would just multiply 25 and 8%, which would be this as a decimal. Okay, but if I want to find the total price, we need to take 8%, okay, and we need to add it to 100%. Which would give us 108%, okay? If we change that into a decimal, we would get 1 8/8. We multiply those together, and that will give me my total price of $25 with 8%, which is 27, okay? So it would cost you $27. Again, this is the total price, okay? What about tip? Is it any different? No, it's the exact same. So if we wanted to just find what the tip was, we would do 50 times 0 and 1500ths, which would be what the tip is. But if I want to find the total price with the tip, all you're going to do is take that 50, and we're going to multiply it by 15%, but we need to add it to 100%, which would give us 115%. 1 1500ths. We multiply those together and we get $57.50. Okay, so that would be our total price of a meal or something that's $50 with a 15% tip. Now, what if we had both? What if we had both tip and tax? What would we do? Well, you would do the exact same thing. Okay, first off, we're going to take $35. We need to take our tip and add 100%, which would give us 110%. Okay, then we're going to change that to a decimal, so that would give us 1 10/100ths. We multiply those together, and that gives us 35 and, okay, that gives us 38.50. Now you're going to take this price to find the tax. So if you're doing multiple things, don't use the first price again. You're now going to use this new price when you calculate the next thing, okay? So now we're going to use that 38.50, and we're going to take our tax percent, but again, let's make sure to add 100% to it. So it would be 107%. Move that decimal over. We get 1 700ths as our percent. Multiply those together, And that gives us, hold on, 38 and 50 and multiply 1 and 0.7. That gives us 41,195. But remember, decimals and money, we only need 2 of them, okay? We only need 2 decimals with money. Since this is a 5, this goes up by 1, but since it's a 9, it would round up to a 10, so this would become 20. So $41 and about 20 cents would be our total price with 10% tip and 7% tax. So again, remember I used that new price instead of the old price when there were 2 things. Now this goes for even if it's not money. Say it was 80 fish and the population was increasing by 20%. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's money, dollars, fish, school, people, children, it doesn't matter. If you're increasing by a certain amount, you just take it, add 100%, that gives us 120%. Okay, move that decimal over and multiply it by your number. So we had to have 80 multiplied by 1 and 20 hundredths. Multiply those together, we would get 96. So now our population of fish is 96 fish. Okay, if that was dollars, it would be $96. Doesn't matter whether it's money or population, you solve it the exact same way.